What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Info. We are here on the Wave Tour, Ryde Along Broward County, Florida, with Montesi of Montesi Records, MRGE Studios. What's good?
Chilling. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us here at the studio.
Anytime.
Giving us the tour, letting us hear what you've been working on, the music you've been producing, engineering. And it's fire. It's
Thank
fire.
You. Appreciate it.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you came from and how you got into starting with engineering.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. Okay. Started producing later in life at 18. Been doing it for a while, like 15 years now. I was producing for I'd say 8 years before I decided I really needed to kind of take my career to another. Basically, how this works, you need as many hats as possible to get yourself in the room.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not only to better myself, get myself in the room with other people, I decided to start engineering at studios locally, which kind of helped build my brand and to help get us here in this studio and my own label and placements on video games and other things of that nature.
Now, is it engineering and producing? I know it's got to be like the most difficult job. It seems to be. With artists.
I think engineering and producing totally different. Not it's an art. I think if the big problem today is a lot of people don't know the definitions of each thing. So like a producer, everyone thinks they make beats. But if you really think about it, like a producer is someone who oversees a project.
Okay, I got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas there's a beat maker who makes the beats. I make beats. But I could be a part of a production or be the producer of a situation where I didn't produce the beat.
Okay, I got it.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so there's beat makers, there's engineers, there's producers. They could wear all the hats. They could be wearing one of them.
Okay.
I do wear all of those hats in certain situations. I just wear one.
Now, how did you know, this is where you wanted to be? Like, how did you know that? And what age did that really click for you?
So, never did music in high school. Always into sports.
Wow.
And then, I hated all things music. I didn't even listen to music in high school, really. Yeah, so then I had a roommate after I left high school who was a DJ, and he just had some stuff in the closet. And one day I'm cleaning in the closet, and I'm like, yo, what's this? You know what I mean? He's like, oh, it's like a drum machine. And it wasn't MPC. It was like a Korg Electribe, just so you know. So I decided to just bring it into my room, and time flew. 8 hours was gone, and then every day 8 hours was gone. I was just playing with this thing, and then I kind of felt like, it just kind of snowballed. It's over time, you just keep doing what you love, and things happen along the way. It really was that moment where time would just pass. That I felt like it's called flow. If people could enter that moment doing something, then I feel like that's pretty much what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. You feel it in your spirit. It's what you're meant to be.
Exactly.
So when was the moment that you knew, I've got something here, this is where I have it?
So, at first, with producers, I feel like a lot of it's a confidence thing. Having the confidence to know that it's hot. Then outwardly project that and get in the room with people, right? So where it started for me, you're looking as a producer, believe it or not, for tidbits of confirmation. You know what I mean? Whether it starts with playing with it for friends, and then for me, I started with this company called E.S.T, who's a big beat producer competition. Okay. And big producers come through this, the dude that produced Powered from Kanye West, Cardiac came from it. The dude that produced I'm All the Way Up came from it. Okay. And they do statewide competitions. And I won this state, Miami, not statewide, they do regional competitions within states. It might be Miami, Orlando, Tallahassee, and they do it across 8 states or whatever. And I won Miami 4 times, you know what I mean? So that kind of gave me that, and then they actually play stuff on XXL magazine for me, on their website and things of that nature with Future and
so basically it was just giving you the exposure,
giving me that confirmation, yo, I'm seeing my stuff on magazines with famous people's faces on it, and then that gave me the confidence to kind of I got something,
exactly.
Clearly.
Clearly. Now, how did you start working with Jason Derulo? Did it come from that?
Wow, that's really good. So I feel these type of things are like luck, which is opportunity meeting preparation, right? So if things happen, like you're in the room but you're not ready for it, then you weren't lucky or you weren't ready, whatever, however you want to see it.
Yeah.
So for me, what happened was the perfect timing of, at this point, I had already been producing beats, won these competitions or whatever, and I was working actually in a restaurant. And so this restaurant was called STK. There was one in Miami at the time, and his family members apparently worked in the dining room, in the in-room dining portion of this hotel where STK was at.
Okay.
And our kitchens were shared or whatever, and I basically met his family through that kitchen area. And then after this restaurant closed, that family member happened to do music and invited me over to his spot, which happened to be Jason Derulo's house.
Okay.
And I didn't even know any of this. I just pulled up to a mansion. I'm like, where am I? You know what I mean? So this artist is actually Jason Derulo's family member. We've released records. They're on YouTube. No longer does music, but that helped build that relationship from over 8 years ago to the point where they, like, I'm like family. Like they trust me. I go on the road with him. I do his shows.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was, that didn't start like that. Again, that was like 6 years after knowing them. You know, opportunities arose. They know that I was at the time engineering at Audio Vision, which is a big studio down here. Crossroads from Bone was recorded. A lot of big records was recorded there, and they were there recording, and I was in the room. I hadn't talked to them in a couple years.
Right.
And they walked in to record, and I was just there like, yo, and I was like, yeah, I was like, hey, and they're like, you want to go on the road with us, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, because we kind of lost contact, but we were still cool. You know what I mean? It's just how life happens, business. We all, you know.
Yeah.
And but then, you know, we rejoined, and yeah, it was cool. It was great. It's love.
Did it change your life? Like, did it feel like it changed your life?
So imagine this. I'm gonna tell you the greatest day of my life.
Okay.
So. Actually, this day happened, right? And imagine the conversation happened that I just told you, would you like to go on the road with us? And I was working at a restaurant at the time, of course, because I'm trying to like get the gears rolling, you know? And I said, you know, I have to ask my boss, because they're telling me we have to leave to Dubai in like 3 days, 4 days, right?
Yeah.
And I am like, I'm on the schedule for next week already, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I have to at least talk to them.
You can just call out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I don't know how long I'm going to be on the road. I don't know anything except for like, let's go, you know? So I'm like, let me just answer you in the morning. So I told them that, and then I called my boss, and it wasn't an option. It was more like, yo, I'm leaving to go on the road. And they understood because they already knew what I do, you know, and they welcomed it with open arms, and they, you know, they're like, you can come and go as you please, basically, if I needed to, or if you never come back, cool. So I just, from that point, I left to Dubai, and while I was in Dubai, as you know, but I have a group named Culture under my label, KLTR, and we did the theme song for a big video game called Need for Speed by EA Sports.
Right.
So at the time, that placement didn't happen, but while I was in Dubai, like literally 3 minutes about to go on stage, imagine we're in Dubai on the rooftop of the biggest club in Dubai, overlooking the whole city, and the biggest club in Dubai, I think it's called White, doesn't have a roof, and it's on like the 50th floor, and it's as big as Live. So you're overseeing all of Dubai, the whole city. I got a table full of every liquor, surrounded by beautiful women. We're about to go on stage, and I get an email like, yo, your song got accepted as the theme song for Need for Speed.
Wow.
And I'm just like, in Dubai, I'm like, and it was just crazy. It was a crazy day.
It can't get any better than that.
Crazy moment.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And that was November 2019.
That's just a couple years ago.
Yeah, so things from then obviously came a lot more.
Now, what are you working on now? Like,
so right now, what I'm working on is a few different projects. I have an artist named Romy signed under me who's part of Culture. We're doing his EP right now. The other artist that's part of Culture's name is Street Boy. He's releasing a single in 2 weeks from now. That's already lined up. That's coming out December 1st. We're working with, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, but John Cicada, whatever. We'll throw it out there, and I won't give up too much on that, but there's things coming out with him. And then obviously I'm just looking to take over in regards to multiple facets of Miami's music scene.
Yeah.
From the recording part, mixing, engineering, studios. We're just really trying to leave like a mark, because I feel like this is the next LA.
Of course it is. I mean, Miami's always had a hot music scene. Like Miami's always just had its own vibe, its own movement. It's got Haitian, it's got Cuban, it's got Caribbean, it's so much all mixed together that you can't help but to have some sort of music, some sort of sound coming out of Miami.
Exactly. It's a hot spot.
It's
a hot spot.
Definitely. So, I know, do you prefer to work with like brand new artists that are, you know, little seasoned, like Maromi? He has, you know, he's already kind of ready.
Yeah, he's getting there.
He's mature.
Yeah,
you know,
much more mature
than somebody that's just straight right off the street. Or do you prefer to work with like, you know, a Jason Derulo or a John Sakana?
So I think that working with bigger names, so it's kind of like this. It's like a seesaw, right? So if you're working with people that are better than you, not better. Sorry, there's a bad word. Bigger than you.
Okay.
And what I mean by bigger, like I'm talking about their name rings bells versus you know what I mean? Let's say you walk into Starbucks, you ask 10 people who this person is, they know, versus yourself, they don't. This type of difference in popularity, that brings your resume up, you know? So for the purpose of raising my worth, I want to work with bigger names.
Sure.
I have more creative ability and input when I'm working with people that are new.
Okay,
you know, I have more
it.
control over what I feel the vision. And not that it's a bad thing. You know, these people are famous for knowing what they know and their sound, and I'm in the room to help them achieve that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas when I'm working with newer artists, I'm molding the sound. You know what I'm trying to say?
But then how great would that be to work with like the new artists that you're molding and then they blow up?
So that's what happened.
That
so with Culture, that one record's a big record. Like we've been in store. Manager, a label owner, mixing, mastering engineer, live pro. So what's funny about it is if you really think about this, I took two artists that weren't a group, that were 17 years old, 18 years old at the time, molded them, created a vision, created a whole brand, made a beat, we wrote a song to it, submitted that to Universal, and that's what's the theme. It's not my beat, it's our record from my label. You understand? It's the face of Need for Speed Heat's based in Miami.
Right.
So think of it like we're like the face of that game. And that's not just a placement, it's like a homegrown vision that happened over multiple years. And that's just a taste. It's amazing like that. So that's something that's, I don't think, and I mean really, like think about that. I don't think a lot of people have gotten that opportunity to literally, because they were not a group. Like literally I saw, it's a multiple genre pop group. Yeah. And I saw the vision, and I literally saw it come from literally scratch. We were recording in my grandma's house. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
But
and then over multiple years, it went from my grandma's house to now look at where we're sitting. Right. And it's just so much more than literally as if I've just placed the beat with somebody. That's not nothing. My label, like if you go to YouTube and put in KLTR, the song's gonna come up. It's a big song, Levante. And when you see it, it says Universal Music Group, Montesi Records. Like, that's crazy to me. Yeah. Because
you see your name up there like that.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's
something
big.
You built.
That's my exact homegrown. It's a legacy, you know, like my name will always be a part of that game. And that's a cult following. Like that game lasted for 20, 30 years.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So after we're gone, that on Wikipedia that'll be there. You know what I mean? And that's just a little bit of what's to come, you know.
Now where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like where do you compared to, I have a couple more questions for you. Because I like mine's is rolling here.
That's fine.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
In 5 years, I see myself having multiple studios like this across the state, having at least 2 Grammys, one in Latin and one in English, and just being. When you think of Miami, I really want my name to be thought of. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like a mogul.
You hear
like
Miami,
music
you
mogul. I want
you to think
of a mogul, like, because I do it all. I mix, master, produce. I'm a visionary. You know what I mean? Everything was thought of from scratch. So if we just keep pushing, keep doing everything in house with the momentum, we have a publishing team. We have every marketing team. We have everything that we need behind us. So I just really know that with the momentum we have and the people that we have, it's inevitable. You know, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, and we've gotten this far in 3 years from nothing, and it's kind of like a snowball. Like, it builds, it keeps building up speed, and it gets a little easier to go because you have the momentum, and we have that momentum right now. You know,
I always ask artists this, you know, because at the beginning, like when you're in the struggle and you're in the grind and in the trenches, like you're saying, you're recording at your grandmother's house, compared to like now you're at a studio, you have your own studio, which can only get bigger from there.
Of course.
Do you think like the music is going to change because the struggle is not so? It's not. You're still grinding. Don't get me wrong, but it's not grinding as hard. Like it gets a little bit easier. It's not ever going to be easy. But it's going to get easier.
I think the challenges just change.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the point where, like, definitely there's a difference from where we started, but there's a lot of room to grow. And at the moment where we're at, it's not enough to be like, yo, it's not going to change our music. We're still grinding. We're still, like, and I don't think it'll ever change because I think, like, with more money, more problems.
I was just going to ask you, is it more about, is it always going to be about the music, or is it eventually going to be about the money?
It's always about the money. So
I'm glad you said that.
What I mean, because
nobody seems to want to just say that.
It's always about the money, and how I mean by that is this. So I have a whole album recorded, and people want to hear it. And the sad thing is there's, unfortunately, like, it's like a bottleneck, right? Every record, I'm gonna give y'all some super sauce.
Okay, I'm ready.
Super sauce, okay? As a label owner, right? Or someone who's putting out music in general. Let's pretend with inflated numbers that are easy to know that you can just reduce down, right? So let's say at $100,000. Really big number, I understand. You can reduce it easily. So let's say $100,000 for a song. And what I mean by a song, there's nothing that exists. We have nothing at all, and then I need to create the actual song.
Okay.
And video. So I'm talking production.
The whole thing.
The whole thing, having a song and a video, right? 50% of your budget. So 50,000 of that should go towards the creation of this record. Now, if you have that big of a budget, you're probably going to get a big feature. But with that being said, half should go to that.
Okay.
The other half needs to go 100% to the promotion of the record.
Yeah, that's huge.
100%. So let's say I had $10,000, $5,000. It doesn't matter what the number is. There's $1,000 behind that statement. So if I have a whole album to put it out right and put it out correct, I would say I need at least 30,000. That's an album. A single, you're gonna need at least, if you're gonna do it right, I'm talking about get the production, own it, own the masters, pay for the beat, do it legit, have it registered with the ECO, Copyright Office, have it legitly done, everything done right. You're gonna spend it properly. I wouldn't say I'm spending less than $5,000 per record.
Per record.
Minimum. The way per single. All the way up to $12,000. Like our last record, La Vida Se Va. These are high quality records. So you need to match that with the promotion to get your return on your money.
Right.
So we have the music, but it's a bottleneck on the really giving it the respect it deserves.
And that's what a lot of people think, that you just throw it up on YouTube and
that's lottery.
You get exactly.
That's lottery.
And
so this happens,
like
but
that.
Also know that when that happens, the artist probably just doesn't. They're not signed to a deal, so they might be getting taken advantage of because their numbers aren't inflated, and it's like a lottery chance. Like, might as well just go into the store, get a lottery ticket, and hope that happens. You know, and you'll probably get taken advantage, and you might just be a fad, a one-hit wonder. It's better to make it later and do it the right way than be a one-hit wonder that was found overnight.
Yes, thank you. For all the artists that are going to be listening to this, they need to know that.
Yep.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't even want to spend $50.
Yep.
So to know, like, okay, you got to build your money.
Something
got to have some money.
It's got to be there. You think of it like a toll. Like everything you pay a toll to cross across. You got to find the people to even pay the toll to be able to cross that bridge to get to the other side, and even finding that bridge is impossible in this music business.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? You mind if I drop a shout out?
Yeah, of course. Go.
All right, so at MONT3SI.
Okay.
Montesi is my name, and you can follow me on IG. My artist at KLTR Music.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll be dropping music soon. I look forward to hearing from y'all. You know?
That's dope.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us at your studio here at MRGE
Anytime.
Studios, Broward County, Florida. Wave Tour, the Ryde Along. This is Montesi,
Yep.
Montesi Records.
Bless. Thanks, y'all.
I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right.